Hello, everybody. In this session, we will learn different deployment models available in IBM Guardium Key Lifecycle Manager. In order to make this session more interesting, we'll be having a live demo of deployment for the product on a distributed system. Today, we have Ishan.
In this demo, we are going to perform the traditional GKLM deployment of version 4.2.1 on a Windows 2022 server. Now let me share my screen for the demo. When you download the binaries from the Passport Advantage, you will have these two zip files. So when user is extracting these zip files, he has to ensure that these both are extracted in a same folder. We have already extracted the zip files in this folder. So we can see we have disk 1 and disk 2 folder here. Now let us open disk 1 folder and browse the contents. Here we will look at some important files in this directory. The files install.bat, launchpad.bat, silentinstall.bat. These scripts are used for the installation purpose. Install.bat and launchpad.bat are used for GUI based install. The only difference in them is when you run the installer with launchpad.bat file, you will be able to select the locale for installation manager. File silent uninstall.sklm, uninstall sklm.bat are used for the product uninstall. The installation of traditional GKLM can be performed in silent mode or in GUI mode. In the silent mode of install, user has to run silent uninstall.bat file and provide a response file as an input to this script. SKLM silent win response.xml is the response file which we provide for the silent installation. Let me open this file and explain some details. In this file, user has to update few things. First thing is the updating the repository location. So in here, user has to provide the location for the disk 1 folder. Next, there are some data key tags in which user can update their values. Like for database user password, the tags here are user.db2 underscore admin underscore pwd. So user can update the value which is mentioned here. And similarly for the confirm password. The password values provided here in the response file are in encrypted format. User can also encrypt their values by using the encryption utility provided by installation manager. User can also update password and confirm password values for SKLM admin user, which is the default application admin user provided by the GKLM. Next, user can also update the application UI port, which is mentioned here. The current port is 9443. This is a default port. User can update this value. The only point to note here is the value should be above 1024. User can keep all the other parameters as it is in this file and can perform their silent installation. In this demo, we will be performing a GUI based install of GKLM. Let's begin the GUI based install. Right click on launchpad.bat file and say run as administrator. So here, user can select a locale for installation manager. As it is mentioned here, English is selected by default. So we will start the installation just by hitting the enter. This will launch installation manager. GKLM installer does some prerequisite checks in the background when we start the install process. Like we can see here, it has performed some checks for the CPU speed and the required memory. So these checks have passed and the installer is launched. In case this prereq check fails for you, the installation manager will not be launched, and therefore it is mandatory to check system requirements before you start the installation process. Now we will see different installation manager screens with the explanation. This is the first screen. On this screen, user can see different packages which will be installed during installation process. User can click any of the package here and the details for the same will be shown below. We will keep these selections as default and click next. On this screen, user has to accept the license agreement. For this, choose the I accept the terms in the license agreement radio button and click next. On this screen, user can choose a location for shared resource directory, which is used by installation manager. Let's keep the value as default and click next. On this screen, user can select a custom location for different components which will be installed during the install. For example, for the first component, the installation directory here mentioned is C program files IBM DB2 GKLM V421. If user want to install this product on a different location, he can browse from this button and provide another location and click OK. Similarly, he can do this for all other packages. For this demo, we will be installing the product on all the default locations. Click Next. On this screen, user can select translation packages to install. Here we see English is already selected and is supported by all the packages. So we will keep this default value and click Next. This screen is for selecting the features for selected packages. User can click on any feature and below the details will be provided. Also, user can see the disk space information which will be used by the shared resource directory. Here it is 1.08 GB. We will be clicking next. This screen is for DB2 configurations. So in here, user has the option to select an existing installation of DB2. For this, user has to select this radio button and they have to provide the install location of DB2 by browsing through this button. For this demo, we will be using the DB2 which is provided bundled with the IBM GKLM. Here, user has to provide the DB2 administrator password and confirm password. Let me enter the password for that. Also, user can check other values like the name of the DB2 instance which will be installed, the database name which will be used, and DB port. After this, user can click on Next button. Here, user can select the configuration for IBM Wars Liberty. We will keep recommended option for installation, which will install all product features for this Liberty runtime environment. On this screen, this is just an info message that says support for Java SE7 and Java SE7.1 with was Liberty is ended. We can just continue. On this screen, user has to provide value for password and confirm password for default application admin user ID, which is SKLM admin. Let me enter the value for the same. And here user can update the HTTPS port number for accessing application UI. Next, can click on next. Your installation manager will be doing some checks. This is the last screen wherein user can review summary of information for the selections made in previous screens. You can just click on install to begin the installation process. The installation of this GKLM traditional will take almost 30 minutes. So instead of waiting here, we will go to another Windows server where the GKLM install is already done. On this system, we have already installed GKLM version 4.2.1. So now we will be performing some post-installation activities. We will be using the other server for performing these. So first activity is validating the GKLM service status. For this, user has to open services.msc. Here we can see the GKLM server service is installed and it is in a running state. This service is running with a local DB2 user which was created during the install process. The second service to check is for the DB2. So you can see the service name for this is DB2 and it is also running with the local admin user. For performing other post-install activities, we need to open the application GUI. Let's launch the application GUI. Open the Edge browser. Type in the URL. The URL will be https IP or hostname. The current hostname is this one, colon, application UI port. Here we will be providing the user ID which was created during the install process, which was GKLM admin user, and the password which you have set during the installation process. So till the time this UI is loading, let me just show you what all post installation activity we need to perform. So the first activity will be to activate the license. Then we will be creating a server communication certificate, which will be a SSL, which will be used for SSL communication. Then we will understand what is a system token in GKLM and we'll obtain the same. Next, we will see backing up some critical data, and also we will see what are the user management capabilities provided by GKLM. So the UI is up now. On this UI, on the right hand side top, you will find a warning message which will tell you the license trial period. So here it is showing 89 days. That is because the installation was done one day before. So here we can, first step is to apply the license. So we'll click on the apply license button, then click on the activate license. Then we have to provide the license file. This license file is already downloaded from the Passport Advantage site. We can select this file and say open. So once license is activated, the user session will be terminated and user will be logged out. Let me log in again. Yeah. The UI is up now and you can see the warning sign has gone from here. The next step, which involves creating a server certificate for SSL communication. So you can see the user has an action item here. You have to click on this link to open the certificate wizard. On this wizard, we can create, export, and import certificates. So let me just create a self-signed certificate for GKLM application. So once this certificate is updated, you will see this warning message. In next step, user can export this server certificate for use. Here, this certificate will be exported to GKLM data folder. Now user can also select the type of exported certificate, base64 or DER. We are keeping base64 as now and clicking on export certificate button. Yeah, the certificate is exported. On this screen, user can import a client communication certificate for GKLM. But as of now, we do not have any client to configure. So we will stop this wizard by clicking on cancel button. So once you have the client communication certificate, you can perform the same operation by going to advanced configuration, client device certificate, and you can use the import option provided here to import the certificate. Okay. Next, we will see how to get the system token for the application. So here there is an option to get the system token. From here, user can download the system token and keep it safe. The system token will be used for some recovery operations. For example, if in case your database connection with the application is not happening because your DB2 user ID's password is expired or changed, in that situation, you can use the system token to recover your system, GKLM application. So we can perform these post-install activities on our GKLM installation. So we'll move forward. So upgrading and migrating GKLM traditional. Migrating from older versions of GKLM to a newer version can be performed in two ways: inline migration and cross migration. In inline migration, user needs to deploy the newer version of the product on the same host, and during the install process, the installer detects the older version and performs the migration of the data. After the installation of the target version, the data is automatically migrated. In cross migration, the user performs the installation on a newer version of GKLM on a new host as a fresh install, and later use data migration techniques to move GKLM data from older system to a new system. Cross migration is helpful in situations like you have an older version of GKLM on a Windows platform and now you want to use a newer version of GKLM on Linux platform. In this case, user performs a fresh install of newer GKLM version on a Linux and later migrate the older data from older version to this new version. Data migration involves two steps. In the first step, the user needs to take a backup from the older GKLM instance, either by using GUI, REST, or migration scripts. And in step 2, user has to perform the restore operation on the targeted version, also by using these three interfaces. Next is fix spec upgrade. A fix spec upgrade refers to a minor update where the major version of the product remains unchanged. It involves applying a fix spec or an interim fix on top of existing version. For instance, if you are using GKLM version 4.2 and apply fix spec 1 on it, the version would change to 4.2.0.1. Fixspec typically addresses fixes like security vulnerabilities, repair fixes, or middleware upgrades, etc. User can download the fixspecs for the installed version of GKLM from the Fixspec Central site. It is always advisable to keep your GKLM version updated to the latest Fixspec version. Till now, we have seen deployment and some upgrade related details for the traditional GKLM. Now let's go through some key pointers and steps which user needs to follow for the containerized deployment of GKLM. So first step is downloading the GKLM container images. User can get the same from IBM Passport Advantage site. Next, user should use the pre-installed images for supported database, PostgreSQL, DB2U on GS, and GKLM application in following order. GKLM container can be deployed on any of the supported platforms like Red Hat OpenShift, Kubernetes, or IBM ECX environment. Let's now look at some details for containerized deployment of GKLM on Red Hat OpenShift container platform. For the details, we have to follow this link provided. So prerequisite says you should have a working OpenShift cluster with a healthy state. Then you have to install the database containers, obtain the Helm charts from IBM Security Key Lifecycle Manager Utilities page. We have already downloaded these Helm charts. Post that, user has to install IBM License Service. Post that, user has to extract the sample Helm charts which are already downloaded and perform some modifications in the file in a file which is called values.yaml file according to their environment. Later, user can also select how many replicas they want to use for the GKLM app. Currently supported replicas count is 3. Once all these steps are done, user can run helm install sklemm app command to perform the installation. Post installation, user can check the installation by logging into the OpenShift Container Platform UI, and they can go to the workloads, then pods, and check the running pod details. Next step is to create some routes for the ports which are given in the values.yaml file so that the application will be accessible from the outside. And then user has to update the license and start using the application. For more details, the links are provided here, and this is a parameter reference link which will give you all the details of the parameters which were used in the values.yaml file, and you can update them as per your environment. I have also pasted some screenshots from the same file which will be helpful. Upgrading and migrating GKLM container. Here also, we have the inline and cross migration techniques for the upgrade. In inline migration, new GKLM application container of the target version runs on the same platform. For inline migration, update the target version GKLM image tag in the values.yaml file of container and use helm upgrade command to perform the upgrade. Data will be automatically migrated to target version during upgrade of containers. In cross migration, the user performs the installation of newer version of GKLM on a new host as a fresh deployment and later use data migration process to move the data from older system to new system. For migrating data, user can take backup from older container deployment either by GUI or REST. And for the restore also, you can follow the same GUI and REST methods for the same. Fixpack upgrade in GKLM is already explained in the traditional GKLM slides. Now, in order to apply a fixpack on a containerized deployment, user needs to update the GKLM image tag in the values.yaml file and make use of the Helm upgrade utility. Now we will see some supported upgrade paths for GKLM. This diagram here shows the upgrade paths supported for GKLM target version 4.2.1 only. So in this diagram, we can see that upgrading from older versions of GKLM like 2.x, 3.x, 4.0, 4.1, 4.11 requires an interim upgrade to 4.2 before you can upgrade to version 4.2.1. Also, please note the version which are displayed on the first row 2.x, 3.x are EOS now. For more details of the supported upgrades and migration paths on traditional and container deployment, users can refer this link.